A European buyer just paid 560 million dirhams for a piece of land. Not a building, not a villa, land, empty land, on which they will spend hundreds of millions more to build a single home. To most people, that sounds insane. To the people who actually operate at this level, it is one of the most rational purchases in the world right now. I'm going to explain exactly why, what they understand about the specific island that the headlines don't, and why the very things that make it expensive are the things that make it safe. This isn't a video about the property, it's a video about how the wealthiest people on earth think about scarcity. My name is Mohsin Imran, I'm the CEO of Kun Real Estate. I've done over hundreds of millions in transactions across Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I work at the end of the market where the decisions aren't about yield or mortgage rates, they're about access, owning something that genuinely cannot be replicated. Naïa Islands is the clearest example of that logic in Dubai today. And let me show you the data. Naïa Island was launched in August 2025 by Shamal Holdings, a private island off the Jumeirah coastline between Suqaim and Jumeirah. Here's the defining number. The entire island is fewer than 100 beachfront plots. That's it. Not phases that expand, not towers that add density later, a fixed finite number of plots. And that number will never grow. It's deliberately low rise, low density, no high rises, private beaches, a private marina, and the anchor, the region's first civic plank maison, the LVMH ultra luxury hospitality brand. That's the same group behind Louis Vuitton and Dior, bringing its most exclusive hotel concept to this island. Estimated handover is 2029, early works are already underway. So what's being sold isn't an apartment with a view, it's a membership in a fixed supply on a private island with one of the most exclusive hospitality brands in the world built in. So now the data, and this is what separates Naïa from all the other luxury launches you've heard being pitched. Since launch in late 2025, around 65 fewer than 100 plots have already changed hands. That's most of the island gone in under a year. In March and April alone, transactions worth about 1.5 billion dirhams were recorded. Then the records. A single plot, about 52,000 square feet, sold for 377 million this year. That was land alone. Then just recently, the new record. 560 million for a plot of more than 80,000 square feet, nearly double the previous record on the same island in the same year. But here's the single most important statistic, and I want you to sit with it. According to Reading, data called in Gulf News, Naïa Islands accounted for 38% of all of Dubai's ultra-prime seaside transactions above 150 million dirhams between 2025 and March 2026. That's 26 of 69 deals at that tier. One private island with fewer than 100 plots, accounting for more than a third of every ultra-prime coastal deal in the entire city. That is an absorption rate with no precedent in Dubai's recorded property history. And values on the island have already appreciated by up to 69%. Now here's the part most people get wrong about this tier. When you and I think about property, we think about return, we think about rental yield, capital appreciation, mortgage, the max. At this level, that's not the calculation. A buyer paying 560 million dirhams for land is not optimizing for a 6% yield. They're buying something the market cannot make more of. Think about what actually drives value here. It isn't square footage. You can build square footage anywhere. It's irreplaceability. There is one Naïa Island. There will never be more than 100 plots. No developer, no amount of money can create a second off the Jumeirah coast, and that's why the ultra prime don't follow normal market cycles. A regular apartment market rises and falls with interest rates, supply, pipeline, sentiment. A fixed supply trophy asset doesn't, because its price isn't set by the cycle. It's set by how many people on earth want last few of something that cannot be remade. against how few exist. The experts put it simply: with finite inventory, urgency builds fast within a small, highly qualified buyer pool. When there are 100 of something and 65 are already gone, the remaining plots don't get cheaper, they get rarer. And rarity at this level is the entire asset. That's why these buyers commit at record prices without waiting for a market pullback. They're not timing a cycle, they're securing irreplaceable before it's gone. Let me be honest about what this is and isn't, because anyone selling you only the upside is selling, not advising. This is not a liquid asset. If you need to exit quickly, a sub 100 plot island is not where you park money you might need. The buyer pool is global but small. That's a feature for value, but it means you sell on the market's timeline, not yours. This is also a long horizon. Handover is 2029, and these are assets you hold for a decade or generations, not flip in 18 months. And it's a build commitment. You're buying land, the home on top is separate, substantial spend, and a multi-year project of its own. So Naïa is right for a specific buyer, someone holding long-term capital, who values irreplaceability and privacy over liquidity and yield, and who wants to own a piece of something genuinely finite. If that's not your situation, then there are far better options that fits. I'll show you those directly. If you're that buyer, here's to approach it properly. First, plot selection is everything. The records you've heard about were specific plots, the largest, best positioned beachfronts. They are not interchangeable. The plots range from 19,500 square feet to more than 53,000. Size, beachfront position, and design flexibility vary enormously, and they drive value for more than the headlines in terms of price per square foot. Choosing the wrong plot is the single most expensive mistake at this level. Second, understand what's actually left. With most of the island already sold, the conversation now is about which of the remaining plots genuinely fit your brief. And that's not public information you'll find on a portal. Third, this is a relationship purchase, not a transaction. At this tier, access to accurate plot level intelligence and discretion matter more than anything. The 560 million dirham deal isn't a story about one rich buyer, it is a signal about where value is being defined at the very top of the market. Land, scale, and control in fixed supply. The wealthiest buyers on earth aren't chasing yield on Naïa, they're securing something that cannot be remade. And with most of the island already gone, the window to be part of that is closing on its own. Not because anyone is pressuring, but because the maths of fewer than 100 does it automatically. If you're a serious buyer and you want the real picture, which plot remains and the genuine plot level positioning and whether this fits your portfolio, DM me Naïa. This is a discreet, direct conversation. I'll give you the honest rate, including if it's not the right fit for you, and subscribe. Next in the series, I'm breaking down the other end of the spectrum where the smart growth capital is going right now between Dubai and Abu Dhabi for a fraction of the entry price.